Greetings, shrub crafters. We'll see if we can get this in, even though the sun is out. It's starting to sprinkle. And of course, that's the way it goes. I've got some tools over on the shrubstead figuring out what's going on. But I figured, check these little guys out. There are 32 Thompson Center maxis. Since nobody answered me on my last video about whether I should get a 32 or not, I just went ahead and got a Crockett 32. Check that out. Pretty darn sexy. One of the only complaints so far, let me turn you around without getting drunk here. If you look right here, that blue finish is this nice royal blue, but it's very shallow, so just resting it against my back porch when I'm cleaning it has left some marks through there. Otherwise, I've already filed this down, and I've got some great 35-yard zero for patched round ball. And we'll go over that in a different session or so, but right now, since I'm going to try to beat these storms that are coming in, which seems to be the way for me, I am going to load these up. I have one in the chamber right now. We're using 20 grains 3F Old Lionsford. I know is the top. I actually mixed a little bit of shoots and a graph all into my horn, but I topped off with 3F Old Lionsford since I have a nice stash of that. So I'm going to try to get you set up over here. I have C10 hooked up. We'll try to get some velocity, and I've got on the patched round ball. And some interesting stuff is that between 15 and 30 grains of powder, your velocity spikes are actually not as great as I thought they would be. So we'll see what happens here. Let's see. We are going to go off the tripod because I'm trying to keep everything as perfect as I can to see how this does, because I hate poor technique there, but we'll see. I'm going to aim on steel, aim in dead center. I'm using 20 grains, 3F Old Lionsford, and we're at 35 yards. And we missed. Not sure which way we missed. So one of the things that's interesting is I was using the Thompson bore butter because I have a plethora of that stuff from years past in here. So I'm going to guess, because I couldn't see the impact, but I'm going to guess that we were probably low because I heard a nice solid thump. So that said, I'll do the exact same thing, try it again, and go. Now, this mold cost a little premium. I think it was like 125 bucks, which, crazy for these Thompson things, but and I've heard that these don't fly so well out of the Crockett guns, which is entirely possible. We'll find out. I did file my sights off of a patched round ball and not these, so I'm not expecting them to hit point of aim. But we did get, check this out, just with 1422.4, which is coming in right at our patched round ball size. So that said, we're going to load up again. We'll do 20 grains of 3F bore butter. Yeah, bore butter, old thing, and then we're going to stick it in. And these are the real maxis, so they rifle engraved at loading. So I noticed they actually drop in real well all the way up, and then they just barely catch that top band. So they're a little loose in there, so they might do well with like a fiber wad or something underneath them. But for now, I don't have any of those, so we'll load it up and do it again. Okay, loaded up for shot number 2. Last time I was aiming dead center, so I'm going to try. I'm going to aim just a hair high on the steel plate, and we'll see what happens. Nice, got a hit. So a hair off to the right with these. So this time, 1368. These load really loose. Let's see. Yeah, so these are loading really, really loose. So the storm seemed to be holding off. I think what we'll do is, I'll see. I forgot my 32 ball starter, and they do tend to start a little tight, so I may not actually shoot any patch round ball. It's funny because no matter how many times you do this, with all these different guns and horns and everything I've got, you always forget something. So I got my very first ball starter, the old Thompson. Bought this, I don't know, 25 years ago now. And it fits a 50 perfect. So I was like, that's what I need, because when I was starting, I was deforming the 32s a little bit. So I wanted to change that. Yeah, normally I would pan lube these ahead of time and not use this, you know, nasty liquid goop. But I just cast these the other day. And I figured, why not take you guys out shooting? Especially since I'm off today. So get that nasty gunk in there and you're gonna see I can start those by hand and just barely go. So they just barely catch. You'll see there's no effort here. I do like this is a aluminum ramrod. So it definitely does not fit really snug down the barrel. But this little 32 is great. Between a 32 and a 36, man, I think that's everything you need in a gun. If I had a choice between the two, I still think I'd go with a 36. However, this little 32 is just absolutely a hoot to shoot. It's fast. And we'll see. Now that I know I think I'm going there, we'll see if I can repeat that. Yep. Now we're back up 1426.5. So far the average is 1405. Yeah, so if you don't have these things are awesome. I did fall for the Garmin chrono. I mean, I had my other one, so I gave that to my uncle to use, and you know, these just are so convenient. You don't have to, you're not risking shooting anything as you're going by, and they're just instant feedback. No setup whatsoever. You just turn them on and go. They're awesome. So I'm gonna keep going with these because I'm having fun with these. So I think hopefully everybody out there is enjoying themselves as well, and I hope people are getting out. I know with powder and prices and so on, things have gone up and down, and you know, it's not a cheap sport anymore like it was, although it's never been cheap. You've been in this long enough, you know, when you start out, you get your first jobs and you move around and you do everything, and you kind of, everything's really expensive. So you see stuff that was once cheap, you're like, oh, I should get that, I'll get it again. And then companies go out of business and time goes on. So it's never a good time to buy stuff, but you know, just keep picking up components for everything, reloading, shooting. I mean, even this gun I found online, I shopped around. I think it was Battle Hawk Armory or Battle Creek Armory. Had the cheapest price in town, and they were sub 500, 460, 480, something like that with free shipping. Which was awesome because everybody else was 560, 600 bucks. And anymore, it's like I'm not about paying all that extra. And I don't have anybody local anymore that's worth giving money to. My thimble is loose. That stinks. Got to figure out how to tighten that because there's no hole in the front. All right, we'll do that again. So I'm shooting number 11 caps. They are capping really well. Using CCIs. Oh, got a little bit of water coming down. I just don't want my tools getting soaked. All right, we're doing it again. Nice. She's definitely shooting with these to the right, and I'll show you that in a minute. We'll just keep going. Yeah, this has been just a sweet shooting gun. I'm impressed with the Traditions because sometimes Traditions hit or miss, but I think They've really got a good QC going on right now. Overall, I'm really impressed with this one, as I'm not impressed with their inline. Again, we're only shooting 20 grains, and that was 1377.4. Starting to get a nice little group. Yeah, I realized what happened was where I was aiming on my first one, because she's shooting to the right, I actually just shot right off the plate there. And it's funny, this sun's out, getting rained on. Don't do it. All right. But yeah, this thing loads so easy. This is a great little gun. This would be even with round balls, it's going to be a great little coyote, fox, squirrel. I think I regulated these sights for, I want to say 20 or 25 grains. I tried 30 and 35, and didn't really get much velocity gain out of that to justify the extra powder. Here we go. It's raining, so I think we'll get one more in. I'll show you the group, and then I'll get back because I want to make sure my tools get put away. All right, there we go. Sorry, we're gonna cap this. So we are 14. Sorry, you don't want to see me. We're 1418.9. So 1402.7. Minimum 14 or 1368.4 and 1426.5. Yeah, this is so easy. End session. And then I just power off. She's done. So anyway, fun little gun. I would highly recommend that if you have this on your agenda, I would get it now before the tariffs fully kick in for stock that's here in America, since it's a Spanish traditional. So she's shooting a little group, not bad. I could tighten that up, I'm sure. But as you saw how easy those were loading, I bet they could benefit from probably a little felt or even a wad card underneath. So let's take a peek. Oh yeah, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 was actually right up over the top, I believe, from that. But yeah, not bad at all. Really enjoying that. I'm definitely going to run back, so we're not going to shoot patch round balls today. But the patch round balls were coming out even at the 20 to 25 grains, averaging 1,400 feet a second as well. So it's very consistent between the the reels, and the patch round balls. Shooting the same thing, 30 to 35 yards with them, and was just really, really accurate. It's actually getting even better accuracy because I was able to patch it with a really tight patch. So anyway, there you have it. I know you want to see, we'll get you a little gun point covering that. Nice brass front sight, aluminum rod. It does not come with the jag, so I had to try to find one of those. So I bought that from Ox Yoke, or Ox Creek. Yeah, Ox Yoke. I always say that wrong. Ox Yoke. But the wood is beautiful. The brass is beautiful. The wedge fit perfectly, but the triggers have no play in them. Super strong. The buttstock even has the toe mount. You can see beautifully lined up. Those screws even has a nice spot if I want to put an initial. Color case hardening is awesome. And it's a 1 in 48 twist. And the sights are just awesome. All that said, it is an absolute hoot to shoot. I can't argue with that grouping out there, considering how easy that was to load. So I mean, you've tightened that up a little bit. I think use a slightly thicker lube instead of that Thompson. That one always comes out runny this time of year. I mean, we're only 55 degrees today, 50 degrees, something like that. But it does come out runny. And so let's just try to get all this on. So that said, I think if you do a pan lube on there that's a little bit thicker of a paste, or put some kind of felt wad, leather wad, some kind of buffer down in there, I think you could really, you know, get that gas behind there and really impart it a little better. And obviously, one of the other things I could do is if I were to crank up the velocity a little bit, maybe 35, 35 grains of powder, and get that going. That'll help engage that rifling, because that's that reel, for the people who might not know what that is rifle engaged at loading. So it engages the rifling, and then as you shoot it, it expands out that soft lead and then imparts that twist. So people have said that's not great accuracy out of these in these Crockett's. I can't speak for what theirs was, but that's a great little group for what I'm doing now. That's not squirrel head every time, but you aim between the shoulders of squirrel, you're going to obliterate it. So I would not recommend using that for squirrel. But for coyote, fox, you know, that's got some nice wallop to it. She's screaming out there at average 1,400 feet a second. And if you look on the screen, I forgot to read that out, but how many foot-pounds that is. And that's the one nice thing about that Garmin. Just making sure I got everything. Nice thing about the Garmin is it does all the calculations for you for foot-pounds of energy, all the velocities. It is a fantastic tool. I was a little impatient. Athlon, who makes optics, really kind of, I would say, higher end mid-tier scopes. They do have some low end as well. Thermal, I think they've just got into. They've also got into some other things. Yes, they're a Chinese company, but American based, like most things, and they actually have exceptional glass. I've compared them to my Leupold's. I've looked through, well, I've got a bunch of higher end Vortex as well. So between the Vortex, the Leupold's, the Athlons, I've looked through some Tangent Thetas, Seikos, and other ones that are extremely high, and their clarity is phenomenal. But for the average shooter, I would say, between the $500 and $1,000 range, Athlon's exceptional. And they have now gotten into the market, and they're coming out, I believe they said they were coming out this April. They were taking pre-orders at Euro Optic. They were taking those pre-orders, so there is an exact looking unit like the Garmin C1 that is a chronograph. So I am guessing Athlon has partnered with whatever company in China is making the Garmin, and they're making their own. So who knows what updates and everything are available, but it does go Bluetooth right to your phone. It is really, really convenient, really nice. And the Garmin's C10 averages about 550, 600 right now, whereas the Athlon, I believe, is coming in between 249 and 349 pre-orders. So there's definitely some savings there. Anyway, enough rambling. There's that awesome gun. Yeah, it's supposed to be severe weather coming in here anytime now. And then the dreaded S word, snow again tonight. So, hope you enjoyed that. That is the elusive Thompson Maxi 32. Expensive mold, but casts really nice. And it's worth it for you guys to see this. And I think it's going to be excellent small game. Definitely fox size. Bump up the charge a little bit just so you can get some better expansion. I think it'd be a great coyote round. But again, a 36 does really well too. I do know some people who have used this Thompson Maxi for hogs in Florida, and they're dropping them just as well, usually with a slightly hotter charge than 20 grains. All right, well, I'm gonna go. You can see skies are looking ominous. What a beautiful day to take a walk. And I stopped doing some work around the homestead for a quick break. So I hope everybody's doing well. and I'll talk to you soon.